Hello everyone and welcome to this yin yoga routine. Today we're going to focus on the quads, psoas and hip flexors. If you have yoga blocks at home, you might keep them nearby for this routine, and you also might need a pillow or a cushion. So if you're ready to begin, we're going to start today with dragon pose, making your way towards all fours. If your back knee is sensitive, you can fold your yoga mat a little bit to give it a little bit more padding. And we're going to start by bringing our right foot forward in between the hands. The back knee here will determine how deep you go into this pose, so you might slide it back a little bit if that feels good. Your back foot can stay tucked or you can keep it flat to the mat, whatever feels right for you. And if you do have yoga blocks, you can rest your hands onto your yoga blocks. Now just noticing how this pose is feeling, really feeling it through this back quad, in your back psoas and hip flexor as well. You might be happy to stay here for the full duration of this pose, which is 3 minutes in total. Or you might be craving to go a little bit deeper. And if you are, you can start to walk your right foot to the outside of your right hand, having this foot on a diagonal so the toes are pointed away from you. Just allowing gravity to gently open up the hips here, maybe dropping them a little bit closer to the earth. Find your breath. Figure out which part of your body is asking for your breath the loudest, and just keep sending it in there. In yin yoga, we only want to go to 80% of our capacity. So just check in, make sure you're not forcing anything, there's no yang energy. And if you need to peel it back a little bit, that's okay, please do so. And if at any stage you need to come out of these poses earlier than I give the cue to do so, please do. It's very important to listen to your body, especially when we're practicing yin yoga. And with that being said, there is an option to go a little bit deeper into this pose for the last few breaths. And that would be by coming into low flying dragon, bringing your forearms onto the yoga mat or maybe onto yoga blocks if you have them. And then just observing all these new sensations that are arising, finding your breath. We'll be here for 3 more big breaths in and out. Wherever you are within dragon pose, you can start to slowly come back up. And we'll step back into downward dog by bringing our back toes onto the mat, lifting that back knee and slowly stepping the right foot back. Now keep pressing away from your hands, dropping your head towards the mat. Point your tailbone towards the sky. Have a little bend in your knees if you need to. And try to press your heels towards the floor. And you can release the pose a little bit by paddling your feet, swaying your hips from side to side. Dropping both knees back down onto the mat, we'll prepare for dragon pose on the opposite side. So your left foot is coming in between your hands, back knee sliding back a little bit. Staying here, or maybe walking the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Settling into dragon, staying at 80%. Finding all of those sensations on this side of the pose. Connecting to your breath. Option for the last few breaths here to maybe bring the forearms onto the mat or onto yoga blocks. And remember, what happens on one side of the body might not necessarily happen on the other side. That's completely normal. And wherever you are, you can start to reverse, making our way back into downward dog. Doing whatever you need to do here, releasing any tension from your hips and your legs. Now you can bring both knees back down onto your yoga mat, coming to sit on your heels if you can, or just sitting whatever way works for you. Our next pose is half saddle. So we can do this pose sitting on a cushion or a yoga block if needed. We're going to stretch our left leg out long and keep our right foot somewhere beside our right hip. Now the goal here is to stretch and open up the quad muscle. So you'll start to feel this within your right quad. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can start to lean back on your hands, gently pressing your pelvis forward and up, or just doing whatever you need to do to find that nice appropriate strain on this right quad muscle. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes. We have an option to go a little bit deeper by mindfully coming back onto our elbows. And then if you feel that you're not yet at 80%, or if you're craving to go a little bit more, you can lie back down completely onto your back. We want to be really mindful of the right knee here. If you're feeling any pain or extreme discomfort, it is of course a sign that you are going too far into the pose. So once you're settled, find your breath. Find all of these juicy sensations within your quad. Keep breathing into them. Let's take 3 more big breaths for this pose. Now, wherever you are, take your time. We're going to really slowly come out of the pose. Eventually, you can unbend this right knee, send that right foot back to the top, and maybe take a few breaths here just to release your legs, rotating your ankles, stretching your toes nice and wide apart. We're going to repeat half saddle, this time of course on the left side. So the left foot comes back, right leg stays long. And just like before, what happened on one side might not happen on the other side, so we have to approach this as a blank slate. Be really mindful and just see where you're at for this left quad. Once you have found your appropriate version of the pose, just making sure you're not going over 80%, you're not pushing anything or forcing anything. Just accept the body wherever it is. Yoga will meet you where you are. And we'll find our breath. We'll find our body, and we'll just stay here for the next few minutes, opening up through this left quad. If your mind has wandered off, take it back here into your body. Take 3 more conscious breaths. And now let's start to really slowly come out of the pose. Stretching and shaking and doing whatever you need to do. Our next pose is reclined butterfly pose, which we'll do lying on the back. So you can come on down. And when you're there, bring the soles of your feet together not forcing the knees down, just letting gravity do the work. If this feels too intense, you can just slide your feet further away from you, finding that appropriate strain here on the inner thighs, targeting the hip flexors here. If needed, you can put cushions or yoga blocks in underneath your knees to give them a little bit more support. Now we're going to stay here for 3 minutes. Arms can come to rest wherever feels good for them. Jaw is relaxed. Facial muscles are soft. Bringing all of our focus down into the groin area. And just breathe in and out through wherever your breath is needed the most. And once again here, finding your breath, disengaging from any thoughts that are appearing, unclenching your jaw, and taking 3 more breaths. When you're ready to do so, you can start to slowly bring your knees back towards each other. Stepping your feet to about mat width distance apart. And you might either just let your knees rest against each other here, or you might do some windshield wipers by gently dropping your knees from side to side. Releasing any accumulation of tension from your hips. And feel free to pause at any point if that feels good. And from here, you can bring your knees towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug just to release the glutes and the hips. Now from here, you can roll back up into a seat. And we're going to end this practice with a full saddle. So if this pose doesn't feel right for you, you can practice half saddle. I'll let you know when we're halfway through the hold, and then you can switch to the opposite side. But if you are open to saddle pose, if your body is open to saddle pose, you can come to sit on your heels like so. Then we're going to gently bring our feet over to the sides so we're able to sit on the mat. Now, if this isn't available, you can sit on a cushion or yoga block. Now, many of us will be very happy to stay here. We're still feeling this nice opening through our quads. Again, here we want to be conscious of our knees. If we're feeling any pain, then please come out of the pose. And just finding the breath here, feeling whatever we feel. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes. Just as we did before, if you're craving something a little bit deeper, if you're still very far away from 80% of your capacity, you can start to walk your hands back behind you and lean back on your hands. Now, if we've come here and we're still craving more, we can come down onto our elbows. And if we're craving more after that, we can make our way all the way down to lie on the back. Sometimes here it can be nice to bring the hands up past the head, helping to open up through the shoulders as well. Connect to your breath. Connect to the sensation you feel within your body. If you need to come out of this pose earlier, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, we're just going to bathe in these sensations, bathe in the benefits of this pose, and I'll let you know when it's time to come back. We're halfway through our hold now, so if you're practicing half saddle, you can switch. If not, we'll take this opportunity to check in on our thoughts, see if we need to come back to the body. Now we'll start to think about coming out of the pose. There's absolutely no rush to get there. And if you have come into this full saddle, I know how you feel if you feel like you just will never be able to get out of the pose. Don't worry, you will get there. Just take your time, do it nice and slowly. Eventually bringing both of our feet back in front of us. And we were kind of squishing our feet a little bit, so we'll give them a little bit of care here, stretching out the toes, rotating the ankles. Now you can come back down onto your back. And when you're there, maybe leaning your knees against each other again with your feet wide apart, or you can do some windshield wipers. Do whatever you need to do here to release the pose. And when you're ready, you can make your way into Shavasana pose. Having the legs long, feet spread wide apart, arms taking up as much space as they need, palms facing up. Tuck your chin slightly towards the chest so you can elongate through the back of your neck. Feeling all of this energy traveling around your body now. We'll stay here with it for 2 minutes. It might be tempting to just get up and finish your practice, but this is the most important part of any yoga routine. This is where your body will absorb all the benefits of what you've done. So allow the body to completely relax. Allow your mind to become clear. And just take a few more breaths here. Of course, you can stay here for longer if you can, but if you are ready to come back, you can make small movements. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back up into a seat. Sitting whatever way feels best for you. And we'll close out this practice just by taking 3 more quiet breaths together. So closing your eyes, lengthening through your spine, relaxing your shoulder. Breathe in, feeling your body expand. And breathe out, feeling your body getting smaller. And when you're ready, you can open up the eyes again. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it beneficial. If you did, please leave this video a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate your support, and your likes and subscriptions do help me in creating this content. If you're interested in doing more yoga with me and doing some full-length classes, I have lots of full-length Yin Yoga classes in my YouTube membership, along with lots of other bonus content as well. So if you're interested in going that little bit deeper into your yoga practice, while also supporting me here on YouTube, you should definitely consider joining my membership. So I will see you in the next video. But until then, take good care. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.